Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratascharteshvabhignaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayah Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrsha Dhamna Swena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parerishwaraha Sadyo Hridya Varudyate Trakritibihi Shushrushubistatchana. Hari Om and greetings from Niagara Falls. When one sees the part as the whole, this is known as tamasic jnana. Mistaking the part to be the whole is dark knowledge. It's wrong knowledge. When someone thinks that the part is the whole, they will fall. Their understanding will crack. There will be fear. There will be sadness. Srimad Bhagavatam guides us to live in the absolute minimum so that we can focus on the absolute. If I don't live in the absolute minimum, that means my focus is on the part. The part is pleasure, possession, position. The part is I, family, community. But when I'm engaged in Srimad Bhagavatam, where I'm trying to see the whole, I live in the minimum so I can focus on the absolute. That means peace. That means divinity. Rishi Shuka tells Raja Parikshita, why do you need a bed when you can sleep on the earth? That's a much bigger bed. Why do you need a pillow when you have your arm? You have two pillows all traveling with you. Now, as we're hearing this, I don't know if I want to stay on studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Our course is a message to us to stop insulting Bhagavan, to stop insulting our Creator. We live our lives asking, begging beggars for what they can't give us. No one can give us peace other than Bhagavan. No one will guide us to the truth other than ourselves. Every time you depend on any entity for fulfillment, for completion, that is an insult to Bhagavan. The only dhata is Bhagavan. And this is what our course is guiding us to see the whole, to feel that big picture. In our last class, the Devas have approached Bhagavan Brahma because there's darkness spreading everywhere and they are scared. Where is that darkness coming from? Diti's womb. From her stomach, this darkness is spreading, and Bhagavan Brahma says, don't worry, be happy. Don't you know your Bhagavan is your Bhagavan? And he shares how Bhagavan will come in, save all of these devas. The Sanata Kumaras go to meet Bhagavan Vishnu, and who stops them? Jaya and Vijaya. And Jaya and Vijaya are cursed. They're cursed to go from being suras, those who create light, to becoming asuras, those who create darkness. In all of this commotion, Bhagavan Narayana comes and he asks the Sanata Kumaras, you have rightfully cursed Jaya and Vijaya. They already had this coming to them because earlier they had stopped Devi Lakshmi. That's right. You have cursed them, but I'm their master. Is it all right if I incarnate to call them back to Vaikunta? And the Sanata Kumaras are overwhelmed that Bhagavan is asking them for a favor. And there's lots of dialogue about that. And obviously the Sanata Kumaras say yes. No, they said, no, you can't go. Our curse has to be like this. From Diti's womb are born two brothers. The elder brother is Hiranyakashipu, and the younger brother is Hiranyaksha. And I shared with you, Hiranyakashipu is the one who always wants to sleep on a bed of gold. And Hiranyaksha is the one who's always looking for gold. Subjectively, Hiranyakashipu's desire is desire. And Hiranyaksha is greed. Where there's desire, greed always has to fulfill that desire, correct? If the more desires I have, the more greedy I become. That's why Hiranyakashipu is the elder brother. Desire comes first, then greed comes. When Hiranyaksha was born, he had a boon from Bhagavan Brahma that no part of creation can destroy him. No part of creation can destroy him. So he went on this rampage trying to find more and more gold for his brother. Again, greed feeding desire. And at that time, when this was happening, out of Bhagavan Brahma's nose, in the size of a thumb, came a boar, a pig, known as Varaha. Why Varaha came out of Bhagavan Brahma's nose is to emphasize smell. Varaha is one who smells a lot, as in is smelling, and that earth has the property of smell. Water doesn't smell like anything. Fire doesn't smell like anything, nor air, nor space. Only earth has that property of smell. So it's to show that connection, nothing deeper than that. As Hiranyaksha is rampaging around, in his arrogance, he goes into the ocean. And in the ocean, he meets which deva? Varuna. And he challenges Varuna. He says, you're so big. The majority of the earth is water. I want to fight you. And Varuna, Deva Varuna says, I'm old. I can't fight you. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a really sarcastic and inciting statement that Varuna Devata shares. So I'm going to read this to you in English. He says, he's speaking to Hiranyaksha. Many a hero like you, it is said, went to fight with him at first, but remained to pray. He's telling Hiranyaksha, I'm not going to fight you, but you should go fight Bhagavan Narayana. He's more your match. But remember, lots of people tried to fight him, but they ended up just praying. Now, this really rattled Hiranyaksha. So now he goes looking for this Narayana. And who does he meet as he's wandering around? Obviously, Rishi Narada. Rishi Narada is like that person who makes the fight happen. Right? Two people want to fight, but you need someone to organize that fight, right? You see that in boxing. So Rishi Narada is like that. He says, you should go into Rasatala. That's where earth is. Earth is sunk there. And I think that Narayana is bringing earth out. So that's where Hiranyaksha and Varaha have this fight. And we all know that finally Hiranyaksha is destroyed and earth has its position again. And if you're following along, why the earth is important, because Manu and Shatarupa need a place, they need space to continue creation. And as long as earth was in Rasatala, they couldn't. But now earth is back, so they continued creation. One lovely insight here in a subjective Vedantic way. Hiranyaksha and many of the asuras that we'll study in Bhagavatam, they die through the Sudarshana Chakra. Bhagavan Vishnu has the Sudarshana Chakra, right? Our Bhagavan Krishna does not have this right now, but deeper than his flute is that Sudarshana Chakra. What does Sudarshana mean? What does Darshana mean? Darshana means sight. And when you add the prefix su, it becomes good sight or vision. My eyes have darshana. I can see you. But sudarshana is when it goes deeper. And that's called vision. Ravana, Hiranyaksha, all of these asuras, we tend to take these messages literally. And then we think Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana are violent scriptures. What Ravana, what Hiranyaksha are shown, see, both of them think they're God, isn't it? Ravana thinks he's God. Hiranyaksha thinks he's God. Hiranyakashipu thinks he's God. For us, it's doership. I don't think we all feel that we're God and nobody else is God. I don't think we're there yet. But most definitely, we have this doership. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what I did. Look what I'm going to do. And whenever I say that, I mean, that means you're not. You're always inferior to me. And in doership, I'm not acknowledging that who gave me this body, this mind, this intellect. So Ravana, Hiranyaksha, they're all taught that they are not the whole, they are simply the part. And so their doership dies away, their deservership dies away. That's what that Sudarshana is. And we should actually be hit by this Sudarshana again and again and again. Last week I shared with all of you that Rishi Kashyapa told Diti that what you did is partly your mistake, but it's not fully your mistake. And we discussed this a lot. How do you endure mistakes when I know I'm the part and not the whole? I have no inclination towards arrogance, but you also have to look at it the other way. Sadness too. We take sadness, the difficulties that cause sadness, too seriously. We take them too seriously as if we have full responsibility over what happened. We're a part in this whole. And when you don't go as high, you don't go as low. You become balanced. The more you seek compliments, the more you'll be affected by criticism. But if you don't go as high with compliments, you don't go as low with criticism, you're more balanced. So this is the subtle message that's being shared here about Sudarshana with Mother Diti, that this was a mistake, but you're part of all of this. And I'll share this in one more way. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the first message that Bhagavan Krishna teaches Prince Arjuna The wise do not grieve. They do not grieve for the living nor the dead, because it's a war. So living and dead are used as the frameworks. Now, all of us have lost people that we love, our own family members. Bhagavan Krishna is saying, don't grieve. The wise don't grieve. It's natural to be sad, to experience sorrow, obviously. Imagine you live with someone for 50 years. Every day you see them smile, them cooking, them walking, you speaking to them. That's obvious. Grieving is when we shift from dharma to adharma. Grieving is where you stop being responsible. And that's where Bhagavan is saying here, if I know that I'm part of all of the sadness that comes into my life, I'll be sad, but I won't grieve. But someone who has this ego, I'm the doer, I'm the deserver, they feel they deserve that full sadness, they get into grief then. Okay? That was the 16th adhyaya. Adhyaya 17 to 19 elaborates on the birth and death of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. That's chapters 17 to 19. And I'm not going to tell you all of the details of that. It's less important. Adhyayas 20 to 24 elaborates on creation, specifically two personalities, Rishi Kardama and Devi Devahuti. There's 5 full chapters on this. And again, I'm not going to get into these details because this course is not designed for going shloka by shloka. So in essence, I'm going to tell you what happens with Rishi Kardama and Devi Devahuti. And why this is important is because they become the parents of Kapila. The next avatara that we're going to focus on is Kapila and Kapila Upadesha, which is such a deep, important part of Srimad Bhagavatam. With earth restored, Manu and Shatarupa, man and woman, are able to create, and one of their daughters is Devahuti. Manu and Shatarupa's daughter is Devahuti. Bhagwan Brahma, he's able to create just out of himself, and one of his sons is Rishi Kardama. Rishi Kardama is totally in tune with Bhagwan. His only purpose is Narayana. And he's ever reveling in that relationship with Bhagwan. And one day Bhagwan Narayana comes to him in his contemplation and says, Manu, who's the Raja, is going to approach you with his daughter Devahuti. And I know you don't want to get married. I'm Antaryami. I already know that. But remember, you were born to engage in creation. That is the reason for your function. So accept Devi Devahuti as your spouse. And all of the joy you have now, she will not change that joy. She'll only add to that joy in your life. That when Raja Manu approaches him with Devahuti, he will accept her as his wife. So this happens. Raja Manu and Rani Shatarupa come with Devahuti to Rishi Kardama's ashram. And this is a rustic ashram in the jungle. It's not Chinmaya Dhara with air conditioning and lunch downstairs. This is in the jungle. And Rishi Kardama says, yes, I would like to marry Devahuti. And they get married right there. And I really like this. You know, as so many young adults I interact with, they're planning their vivahas, and they're so stressed doing it. Then they approach me and they cause me stress also. But in this case, they got married right there in the ashram. They chanted a few mantras, married. That's what we're going to do next year here when I officiate the wedding that will happen. And then Raja Manu and Rani Shatarupa left, and they never worried about Devahuti. Now remember, she's a princess. She's a future Rani, and here she is living in this rustic ashram. We feel so bad when we leave our kids in any condition, correct? What will they eat? How will they sleep? It's too hot, or the people around them. But they never worried, and it shows their greatness. Their daughter is with someone who's happy, and that's all that is important. They never looked at he's North Indian, she's South Indian, and matching all of this. As long as he's happy, she's going to make her happy. And if he's unhappy, she's going to be unhappy too. So they never worried. When Devahuti started living in the ashram, Rishi Kardama rarely gave her any attention. He rarely interacted with her. And one day, it's a long time after, when he felt Devahuti was thinking about what marriage should be like, he created an all-inclusive vacation. Buddha's father created the palace of pleasure, where no one was sick and no one had died. Rishi Kardama was much more powerful. He created a whole multiverse where there was every pleasure you can think of. And for a long time, Devi Devahuti and Rishi Kardama, they enjoyed all of that, but she never got attached. So now the Vedantic meaning in all of this, why he never gave her attention or interacted with her, was he was training her to be independent. She's a Rani, a princess, right? A lot of dependencies. When she showed no attachment for all of that pleasure, he was actually testing her. In all of that pleasure, it's very easy to get attached, but she still didn't get attached. So at that point, he knew how special Devahuti is. And they had 9 daughters. They had 9 daughters, and Devi Devahuti was so happy, but soon those daughters, they got married and continued with their life. And at that period, she realized that there's more to life than just family. And when she realized there's more to life than just family, she also realized that there's more to my husband than just how powerful he is, that he must be one who's in tune with God. When she realizes this, she engages in intense discipline, where her body starts to wither away. She becomes very old looking. And this is Rishi Kardama, again ensuring that she's ready to give birth to Bhagwan. We all want our kids to be Bhagwan, but are we ready? Do we deserve for our kids, our grandkids to be Bhagwan? If I'm judging you and I'm lusty towards that person, then how can I be ready for Bhagwan? See, all of this is so important. Otherwise, you study this literally. Rishi Kardama was a bad husband. Srimad Bhagavatam is anti-Devis. That's not the positioning at all. This is actually our own journey, right? Training, testing, truth. You've heard me share that so many times. When Rishi Kardama feels that Devi Devahuti is ready for Bhagwan, from her womb and even from his abdomen, light starts to emanate. In Diti it was darkness. In Devahuti it's light, and that light starts to spread. And soon, Rishi Kapila will be born. And so one more thought from these adhyayas. Devi Devahuti was attached to the one who's detached. Rishi Kardama was never attached. He was always detached. If we can attach ourselves to the one who's detached, then we also will become detached. And that's so lovely that we should change our friend circle. From having friends who are very worldly, if I have friends who are sattvic, then they will help me to be sattvic also. And later on, I'll share with you one of the best portions of Srimad Bhagavatam is called Gajendra Moksha Prasanga. When Bhagavan Hari comes with Sudarshana again to save this elephant from drowning, who does that chakra hit? It hits the crocodile and not the elephant. And what this shows is that the crocodile was given liberation first, and then the elephant was given liberation. That if I'm a useless person, but I hold on to the feet of someone who's useful, then I will become useful also. This is what's shown here, is that if you're going to be attached to the one who's detached. That's the importance of the Guru Shishya Parampara. You can't get attached to YouTube. You can get addicted, but you can't get attached to YouTube. You can't get attached to an audio recording. It is only that live experience that can help one shift their attachment to that detachment. All right. There's a whole other section I wanted to study, but we're not going to. I'm just going to tell you about this, okay? This is one of the most important shlokas in Srimad Bhagavatam. I was going to have a full dialogue with all of you just on this one shloka. It's also in chapter 16. It is shloka 18. Okay, everyone please note this. The third section of Bhagavatam, chapter 16, shloka 18. I'm going to read it to you, then your discussion will actually be based on this. Tvatta sanatano dharmaha rakshate tanubhistava dharmasya paramo guhyo nirvikaro bhavan mataha. And we're going to chant this again. I'm going to go slower. Please repeat. In this shloka, what is described is the origin of Sanatana Dharma. Please repeat after me. Tvatta sanatano dharmaha rakshate tanubhistava dharmasya paramo guhya nirvikaro bhavan mataha. The literal meaning of this, and then your discussion. Tvattaha, which means from you. Here, Bhagavan Brahma is speaking about Bhagavan Narayana. Sanatana Dharma. From you, what has come? Sanatana Dharma. What word is not used here? Hinduism. It is Sanatana Dharma. All the dharmic religions are sourced from here. Rakshate tanu bistava. You are not only the originator, but you are also the rakshate, protector. You're the creator, you're also the conserver. This dharma, this path is parama, paramo, which means highest. It is guhya, it is the deepest. Nirvikara, it is lasting. Bhavan mattaha, this is our purpose. You are the creator, you are the conserver, you are the controller, you are the beginning, you are the middle, you are the end. The word Narayana itself means the ayana of Nara, the path of humans. One of the most important shlokas. When we all meet next week, I'm going to speak to you about two subjects. I'm going to speak about this line in detail. We're going to take up Sanatana Dharma 101. I'm going to explain Sanatana Dharma from a how, who, and where, what, why perspective. This is very important for us to be confident. And next week, we will also begin our Kapila Upadesha, which is famous, which is philosophical. Oh.